Deterioration of the human race. They were really smarter than we are. A team of geneticists has been comparing DNA sequences in succeeding generations of Icelanders, and it would be true of all of us. They just simply happen to be in a single culture that can be identified and can be measured. These geneticists have found that Icelandic children have, on average, 63.2 more mutations, replication errors, than their parents. Mutation expert Alexei Kondruskov reviewed this Icelandic study and agreed with the findings of the authors. And that's true of all of us. They were just able to measure them there. We think, oh, my kid's the smartest in the world. Might be. And especially if we take advantage of the toys and development of computers and techniques to memorize, but genetically, the parents are superior. Yes. When I was a kid just trying to find my way and wrestle my dad, he would say, "I'm a better man than you are." And he was right. So he'd wrestle me with one hand, you know. The little kid, you got to try. Let's wind this up. He also suggests that the accumulation of mutations/replication errors in the human population is causing an increase in genetic disorders such as color blindness, schizophrenia, and autism. 30 years ago, autism was a rare mention. 10 years ago, 1 in 1,000 children in the United States had some form of autism. 5 years ago, 1 in 250. Today, the latest statistics show 1 in 25 babies born in the United States has some form of autism. That's absolutely alarming. Now, that's a broad form of autism, not all debilitating, but that's alarming. So we have genetic deterioration, plus we have other problems that should be taken care of. Kondruskov writes, plainly, human DNA sequence quality is relentlessly worsening. Based on the Icelandic study, if we assume the first generation of humanity had no or zero errors in their DNA, then on the average, the members of the second generation would have about 60 mutation replication errors in their DNA. However, we need to clarify that. In the world before the flood, we didn't have the deleterious consequences, and we're trying to replicate that world in the biosphere. So in the world before the flood, I don't think we had those deleterious consequences. So we have to start after the flood, but the principle is the same. And members of the 200th human generation, about 4,000 years later, will have an average of 12,000 mutation replication errors in their DNA. Members of the human race now average about 18,000 mutations. It is estimated that when members of the human race, and this is from the technical literature, when members of the human race reach an average of 21,000 mutation/replication errors in their DNA, the human race will be at critical mass and will no longer be able to procreate, reproduce at survival levels, and will quickly go extinct. Wow. It looks like whoever wound this up needs to come back and wind it up again before we destroy ourselves. We're pretty good at destroying ourselves in a lot of ways. And he said he's coming back. That's right. Conclusion. It is obvious from the actual scientific evidence at hand that man in his first appearance on this planet was superior to modern man. Neanderthal, along with his contemporaries such as Cro-Magnon, Aurignacian, Job and his counselors, who lived in isolated conditions after the flood, demonstrated brilliance beyond belief. Man is not the product of evolutionary processes, but is instead the product of a divine creation.